All right, welcome to episode 7, I believe, of Everything Hurts, right? Episode 7. I'm going to say episode 7. Yes.
And then you, yeah.
Yeah. Episode 7. We're here. We did it. If you had told me 5 years ago that I would have 7 episodes of a podcast, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are, you know? Just really believed in myself. I manifested it. That's what we're talking about, a lot of that bullshit today. Manifesting all that stuff. I have my guest Davina Joy on the podcast.
What manifest?
Yeah. We're feminists here, kind of. So we talk about a lot of fucking I honestly, I don't even want to ruin it for you because Davina's into a lot of crazy shit. So just enjoy the episode. Like, subscribe, rate, review, all that shit. You know the deal. Everything Hurts podcast. Share with your friends and enjoy this episode with Davina Joy.
Everything hurts. Everything hurts. Fucking life sucks. Everything hurts.
What's up, Davina?
Hey.
Hi. You're here with your face chain.
I'm here with my face
Nipples
chain.
out.
Are my nipples
In
out?
true Davina fashion.
They could be.
I mean, you're not wearing a bra.
I never wear a bra.
I know, which is great.
Yeah, you shouldn't wear one either.
But I'm saying, how are you surprised that your nipples are out?
They're not out. Can you see them?
Just that.
I just don't even think that my nipple, I don't think my nipples show. I don't know. I mean, when I'm cold, I definitely know that they're protruding, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're on, is that a hippie bullshit thing? Davina's on hippie bullshit. She's very granola. She's also the most fucking psychotic person I know. And I think you know what I want to talk about because this is
that might have changed since I started doing this.
This is fucking wild, okay?
It's not that wild.
It's so wild. You're going to have to explain this to me because Davina started doing something that I guess is called urine therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is when you supposedly drink your own pee.
You drink your pee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
not supposedly. You actually drink your pee.
Can you explain this to me?
Well, it's new to me. 8 months ago, a friend of mine sent me these slides on Instagram that had all this information about urine therapy, and it's an ancient practice that has been still country's practice. It's been practiced for thousands of years, and it's really medicinal, very healing. What comes out of our body, our urine that has been demonized.
Isn't it the stuff that your body doesn't want?
No, the waste that goes through your liver goes to your poop chute. And so urine is actually, if I'm remembering this right, it's like a blood plasma filtrate from your blood. So it's the cleanest substance that you have in your body that comes out. That's why if somebody gets stung by a stingray, you pee on them because it's sterile.
Right.
So it's not, and it's filled with vitamins, salts, minerals, stem cells, antibodies, from your own body that's been created as your own body. The reason it goes to the bladder is that your body has taken what it needs and it's kind of like leftovers. It puts the leftovers there and your body just excretes it. But when you drink it back, all I know is my experience. I don't know what other people, I know.
Yeah, have you seen any differences since you started doing it?
Major differences. The crazy thing is my mental stability and my emotional stability have been probably the most balanced that I've ever been in my entire fucking life. Which was not even something that I expected. But I have 2 friends that did it. One is a friend of a friend, and this was a guy who apparently had a horrid gluten allergy. He drank his first pee of the morning for a year, and his gluten allergy is gone. So the first pee is supposed to be the most potent.
Right, that's why you take a pregnancy test with the first pee.
Oh, is that what they say?
Yeah, I've taken a lot of them. This is not what
Yes,
they say.
you
It's from
have.
experience.
Well,
Honestly, not even because of, and like, I just have such high anxiety that like,
Yeah.
I always think I'm pregnant. I could have not even had sex that month and I'm like, I'm pregnant for sure.
I used to be that way fucking too. I definitely had those moments, but I never knew it was the first pee. I just fucking go get
Yeah,
a
it's supposed to
pregnancy
be the
test and
first
pee.
one.
So the first one's the most potent one. It is harder to get down, but it's not hard to get down. Like, I don't know
Yeah,
what it is in
what
me.
is it? What is the taste terrible? Have you tasted
No.
pee before this?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Not
this
for like
was
kinky sex stuff or anything.
No. I
Okay.
mean, have I been peed on like in a shower? Like for sure. Who cares? Like
I
yeah.
wonder if, because one time I did see like a thing about these like sex parties and they were drinking pee. I wonder if those people are super healthy.
Well, they are. If they're drinking pee, they're super healthy. That's what I know. But also, like, I do it in
You're
a
drinking
very
pee, you are super healthy. Mentally and
physically.
No.
I feel fucking fantastic. And there's a girl that I actually do know who had a horrid cat allergy, and she for only 1 week drank her first pee of the morning, and she now has a pet cat. Yeah. Cat allergy cured.
And
Gone.
you've inspired people to start doing this.
I know 2 people that have started doing it. One of them is a friend from my ecstatic dance community. This guy's Stargazer, and we just saw each other on the beach on Sunday. And
Stargazer, shut up.
It's what he goes by. I mean, I don't think it's on the fucking birth certificate, but I don't know. I haven't seen his birth certificate and the community of people I'm in. It could be his real fucking name. But I was talking to him about it, and he's like, there's 2 people, 3. There's one that's like, fuck no, gross, I would never. There's one that's like, what? I've never heard of this, like kind of interested. And then the third's like, oh, really? I'm going to try it. That's just like gung ho. And Stargazer was in that third because he had been feeling off. He's just like, I've been feeling off. And I'm like, yo, drink your pee. But Candace Thompson, who is an amazing comedian, and she's just been a ride or die friend. Like, I did Combo, which is that frog medicine that's like the frog secretion where they burn holes on you and they put the stuff on there and then you purge for 30 minutes, and that changed my whole life too. That's an amazing medicine to work with. But I told her about it, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna do that. And then with those same people, she like did psilocybin ceremonies with them, so she's just like down. Like, if I'm doing something for my health, she's like, I want to try it, I'm down for it. I did not think that she would be like, yeah, I'm gonna drink my urine, but she is, and she talked about it on Whitney Cummings' podcast yesterday, I think. So I'm excited because that's gonna reach a lot of people.
I mean, I know she's really into, like, she's got like a fucking 50-step skincare routine that she taught
She's
Connor
not going to need
McSpadden.
it anymore because fucking when you drink your urine, it's like good for your skin, your nails, your hair, your eyes. Like, it's literally a medicine from your body made for your body that.
So, but you don't drink every time you pee. It's just one time a day.
Well, no.
Is it once a day? Once a week?
I've been drinking multiple times. No, this is my 12th day. I've been drinking multiple times now. Like, I'll drink before bed, and I'll drink like first thing in the morning. I'll do my first pee, catch my first pee. But like,
some people have a warm glass of milk before bed. You wind down with a warm glass of.
It's actually not usually
piss.
warm because I've been drinking like.
You don't
the
do it
longer
fresh?
You let it go, the stem cells like multiply and get stronger. So like, I have drank like 24-hour or just over 24-hour old pee.
So you put it like you put it in a jar and put it in the fridge.
Dude, no, I don't put it in the fridge. I haven't refrigerated a pee yet.
Wait, so where do you put it?
I put them on my altar. Actually, it looks like surrounded by my crystals.
Oh my god!
By my gems.
Jesus Christ!
So like my ritual is I pee in the jar. I'll go sit outside with it in the sun for 11 minutes and 11 seconds, and I put intentions into it of just like receiving like the healing benefits, whatever it has to offer me, like gratitude for it. I meditate for 11 minutes next to it, and then later on I drink like. Yeah. Then for the first pee in the morning, I'll drink that, and then I drink a liter of water. So all my other pees are like water. It's crazy. It's literally just like water. There's no taste to it at all. The first one in the morning's like salty. It's very salty, and it's definitely like darker in color. I'm going to be posting. I took one video so far of me drinking my first pee, and that was a day 7 video. I'm going to be posting that next. So
what was your reaction when you first?
Well, day 5 was the first time that I drank my first first pee of the day, because I'd heard about it. A friend of mine told me, was like, no, but the first one's the strongest and the most potent. And I was like, really? Like, fuck. Like, I'm still figuring it out. I'm going through my own programming and conditioning to like figure out how to like get through this. But there's everything in me and in my body is like, fuck yes. So like, no matter what my mind wants to create in stories, like my body is like, do this, right? So day 5 was the one where I drank my first pee of the day. And that first sip, I was like, oh, I can't do this. And then I'm like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. So I drank that whole thing, because I'm drinking like 6 to 8 ounces. Like when I drink it, it's not like a shot or a little bit. Like I drink whatever, like the amount of pee that comes out of me.
Oh my God.
Except for the first time. Day 1, I peed because I drank a liter of water. So I peed like 12 ounces and I drank 8 of them. And then I didn't drink the other 4. You can also put this like in your plants. Like, what if you put your pee in your plants to water them, watch them flourish.
Why wouldn't you just directly pee into your plants?
I mean, because it's going to get messier.
Waste less
like,
water.
You're going to have pee all over the place, and then it's like more
true.
to clean up. Yeah.
I mean,
like,
men can aim.
And men can aim. Oh, and I also do have a Go Girl. Like, it's not a Go Girl. It's called a Pee Style.
Oh, are those one of those funnels that give you a...
This one's like a hard plastic thing, and it's shaped over here. Like, you just put your vulva in it and then just start peeing. And it, like, no matter how hard you pee, this is the most amazing camping tool. Every woman should have this. I was driving home from Arizona at Christmas, and I like to drive overnight. So it was like 3-something in the morning. I stopped to get gas at some random fucking place, and I walk inside, and I was like, hey, can I use your bathroom? And he was like, oh, we're not doing that right now. I'm like, oh, you're not doing that right now? So I went to my car. I was parked in one of their parking spots. I pulled out my fucking Pee Style, and I pissed in their fucking parking lot. Like, I was like, fuck you. What do you mean you're not doing that right now? Like, I got to go pee, so.
Write your name on their wall.
I wrote my name. I mean, I thought about doing it on the wall, but I was like, I'm just going to pee right here on the asphalt. I'm sure it's not the first pee that ever hit that asphalt, but maybe.
You know, I mean, like, look, I'm not going to pretend to know anything about anything, and I am a 28-year-old woman who looks 48. So, like, I probably
40 fucking 8.
I probably should do some weird shit, but like,
do some weird shit, dude. Life is so short.
I don't think I could. I have such a bad like gag reflex. Like, if something even like kind of grosses me out, like I will gag.
Me too, dude. I cannot hear or see someone hawk a loogie. It will make me fucking want to puke.
Yeah.
Like my gag reflex probably from sucking dick has definitely gotten a little stronger. I mean, it's been a long time since I have, but I do think my gag reflex has gotten stronger from that. But I still like gross shit is gross shit. But that's the different, like I was never looking at this as like, this is gross shit. Like from 8 months ago when I read the first information I read about this, every time I would pee after that, I'd be like, am I wasting medicine? Because it's called, like in India, it's called Shivambu. I've heard it called like Golden Rain of Shiva, the elixir of life. So like there's like, when you start thinking of it in a different way, like anything, you change your perspective, you change your mentality behind it. It's just mind over matter. And that first sip, like you can see in my day 1, I mean, I was just like, I was listening to this podcast my friend had sent me and was like, I saw this and thought of you. And it was called like the life-changing magic of drinking your urine. And so I was listening to it, and 20 minutes into an hour and a half podcast, I stopped it and I was like, today's a day. I was like, what day is it? Because I'm a numbers person, and it was 1/22/22. I was like, dude, today's the day I drank my fucking pee.
Well, if you ask me, you're insane. You're insane. Okay.
There are so many pee puns. I like to think of myself as a pioneer of this new movement. There are so many pee puns. I was thinking about starting a business where I can hold space and like help people like get into urine therapy. And I'm like, but what would I be called? And I'm giving this credit to my friend Dana May, was like, you're a urine therapepiist. I'm a therapepiist.
Oh, okay, because there's like a P in it.
A therapepiist.
I get it. Okay.
Therapy.
I think there would have to be some like dashes in between.
Well, I spell urine therapy THERAPEE. No, like I spell therapy for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
Look, let me go to something a little less crazy.
Is there
You
that?
are also you're a big like meditator.
Yeah.
Can I ask what that's done? Because I've started doing it, and like I feel like it's such an LA thing where people are like, you gotta meditate, man, but like it's so helpful. and it
What have
think
you
that
experienced
it's
from
important
it?
too.
What has it done for you?
For me, I mean, I've talked about this a little, and it's that like I have both anxiety and depression, and they say that like depression is when you're like ruminating on the past, and anxiety is when you're worried about the future.
Right.
And so it kind of just brings me into the moment. It also, I have like really bad back pain and neck pain.
Okay.
And I have found ones that are supposed to, their body scans, like they have you scan your body, and it that's supposed to help with pain, and they really do, especially if I'm just like laying flat on my back on the floor. And
Is that your process? Like, how do you meditate? Do you ever sit up and do it, or are you always laying down?
I used to sit up, but because of the pain thing, it feels really good to lay on the floor.
Yeah.
And so I'll just lay on the floor. And I also started seeing this woman who over not seeing this woman for individual like yoga and meditation stuff.
Oh, okay.
And she's really great. She does like somatic stuff. So she would have me lay on the floor and do that kind of stuff. So I started doing it that way.
When did you start doing this?
Probably a month or two ago.
And you're already seeing like big results.
Yeah, when I was in like really bad pain, and I was super sad and anxious all the time. And my boyfriend who went to rehab, this was a lady that worked at his rehab.
Okay.
So I started. He was like, you should just try seeing this lady. And so I did it, and it really it has helped whenever I'm just in pain. Also with sleep, I do it right before bed.
You meditate before bed?
Yeah. So
how long?
Because I have really bad, I have trouble getting to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because as soon as my head hits the pillow, I have a million thoughts going in my head.
Right.
So I just need to like calm my brain before I go to sleep.
What's your regimen? How long do you meditate for usually?
Usually, I mean, I started out with like 20 minutes. And then before
That's still a lot. I mean,
before bed, I try to do an hour.
Fuck yeah, Nicole!
Yeah.
Why am I out of the loop of all of this awesome shit that you're fucking doing?
I know you do like fucking 12 hours sometimes.
I do not do 12-hour meditations. I mean, the most I've ever done in one sitting is 3, and I've thought about doing like the Vipassana 10-day meditation retreat. I mean, you can't talk, you don't even like look at people, you can't journal, you don't do anything.
Right. Jessica Michelle Singleton, I think, did something like that.
You do like, yeah. Oh, did she? You wake up at like 4 a.m., you meditate. I think you have breakfast, you meditate, you go for a walk, you meditate. Like, it's like all day of meditating. I'm sure that you go to bed early since you're waking up at 4 a.m., but I'm a talker. Like, that for me is more, can I not talk for 10 days? Like, not a word.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What
Can
you
not talk for 10 seconds?
Yes, I oil pull every day for 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So
you just
I
gotta
can't
put
because I have oil in my mouth.
You just gotta put something in her mouth and she'll shut up.
I mean, when I meditate, I don't talk, but I usually do an hour to 2 hours. I'm part of this like virtual community called Siddha Maha yoga, like meditation community. And dude, they are the most incredible fucking people. That has been life changing as well. That's been really huge. But when we do Siddha, Siddha Maha, MAHA, they're going to be doing another week in April, and you only get in by people referring you. So like, you know, somebody who's done it, then you have an application, and then they invite you to be in. It's a week long, and you meditate like twice a day for an hour, once in the morning, once in the evening. You have a satsang with this guru named Guruji, and he's amazing. And it's a whole, they have the flow, and the whole thing is down so well. Like the way that they organize it, and what they show up and what they give and what they offer.
But they let you out after a week.
It's not that you get let out or
It's
let
not
in.
a
I mean,
cult.
it's a Zoom, right? Like you
Okay.
can never show up again, but like you could not show up for a year and then show up to like, because once you're a returning sadhak, a sadhak is like a seeker, so we're all sadhaks, and so once you return, like you could be gone for a year and then be like sign up, like, hey, I'm gonna be at the next retreat, and they'd be like, welcome home. Like there's no. The community is so amazing, and the way that they hold space and the way that they just like show up in love and support is beautiful. So that has been really helpful too. But I'm so glad you're like committed to meditating, because you know it changes. Like there is something to it.
Yeah. Have you always been into this stuff, or was there like a breaking point where you were like, I need to do something different, and started getting into more spiritual meditation?
I mean, the urine therapy is probably where I was like at a breaking. I've always been depressed as well. And I guess I've had anxiety. I just never looked at it as anxiety, but like I will think of something that I want, or think of something like in the future and get like obsessive about it and be like fucking crazy about it. And like, I can't let it go, and it will be very hard for me to like let go of it. And even up until when I was doing urine therapy, like I would still have my moments of like being really obsessive on things that I want, or like someone I want to see, or like someone I want to hear from, or whatever, you know, like if I'm expecting something, expectations are the fucking worst. And so I like really being able to tap into like not having expectations is a huge thing. But
that's my whole life, baby.
I know.
I'm always my like people in my life actually get upset at me for it, where they're like, why are you, I'll apply for like a writing job, and I'll just be like, oh, it's dumb, I don't even want it, I probably won't even get it. And they're like, why are you always say that, and then if you don't get it, you're very upset. So like, why are you saying this when you know you don't mean it? I'm like, because then if I don't get it, it seems like I didn't care if I got it.
Right.
And if I get it, it's just a
also-
pleasant surprise. If you don't have expectations,
Also, if you
then
don't
you
get
can't
it,
be
maybe you
disappointed.
created the story, like tap into, because what we say is really important. And I used to do that too, like
Right.
expect the worst, but hope for the best.
Right.
And I think that's a really fucked up, actually, like way that we tell people to start living life. Because I took that in. I remember being younger and taking that in wholeheartedly, being like, I'm going to expect the fucking worst of everything and everyone. And then if anything works out, like, cool. And I honestly think I've created a lot of hardships because I was tapped into the frequency. Everything is consciousness. Everything is consciousness. It's all made of frequency. It's all made of energy. So like what you say and what you then start to subconsciously and unconsciously believe is like the paths that the opportunities that you're going to tap into. Like you may say, I want this job, but if unconsciously you don't think you're deserving, like the universe is like, cool, then you don't think you're deserving, and you might not get that opportunity.
Well, I think I started out the opposite, and then I think when I was younger, I was very golly gee, everything is great. Everything's gonna turn out. I'm gonna live my dreams, and I'm gonna fucking.
When did that change for you then? Because I know, like in your 20s, you were
in my 20s.
Like, was there a moment?
There were a lot of moments, I think, that led up to it where I just was very disappointed by a lot of stuff and people who disappointed me, people who I thought were, who I trusted, who just like fucking stepped on my heart, and then like
oh, that fucking heart.
Just I think that I realized I shouldn't expect a lot of people. I should just kind of really stay to myself and not really expect anyone to do anything for me or help me in any way. And I mean, I think that's been...
And it's so funny because what a turn you've had. Like, I think that you're really good at receiving. I would assume now that you have people that definitely like help you.
Oh, I've had people fucking help me all the time. And I try to pay it forward as well. I was talking about it the other day that there were times in my life where if I didn't have comedians letting me stay with them for free or, doing certain things like that, I don't know what I would have done. And in turn...
Lived in your car, probably.
Yeah. In turn, right now, I'm doing stuff like that for other people. So I do think that there is a give and take of it. But as far as expecting things, I've learned to kind of never expect
And that's
anything.
why it's like, don't expect, like, be detached from, like, okay, I'm applying for this writing job. If I get it, fuck yes. If I don't get it, fuck yes. Because if I'm not getting it, there's another opportunity for me that this would have blocked. Like, it's a trust that we have to start to build. And this is where I'm at, because I trust no one and nothing except the universe, even when I'm like at odds with the universe.
I used to think that was such bullshit. I used to get mad at my mom because she would do stuff like, if we were going to get ice cream and the ice cream store was closed, she'd be like, I guess it wasn't meant to be. And I was like, no, we go to a different ice cream store.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that is probably a cop-out as a parent.
God,
who's
Mom.
like, yeah.
No, but I do. I used to get so mad just when she would say stuff, and she would say stuff with other things in life too. Like if I got rejected for a certain college or whatever, she was like, "Oh, if it just wasn't meant to be," and I'm like, "That's not a thing. You make stuff happen, or you don't make stuff happen. There's no meant to be."
You make stuff happen in a sense of like you work for the opportunity, like you filled out the college application, you
Right.
did all the work and steps, but if it was meant to be, you would have been applied. Like,
Well, I
gone to
have
that
had
college.
a lot of things happen where something didn't work out, and because something didn't work out later on, I did end up doing something that was better. And
then it's always
that's happened
hindsight.
enough times now that I'm like, maybe there's something to it.
Yeah. And the thing is, getting a gratitude practice, like when something doesn't go your way, this becomes hard, but this I think is what helps in falling into the trust of like what is happening. That when something is not going my way, sometimes I have to be like, okay, what am I grateful for about this not working out? And then there's this one practice. I think I've talked to you about Totally Possibles before. I don't know if I have, but it's this practice from this guy, Kyle Cease, who's like a transformational comedian.
Oh, right. I know that you're super into that guy. I don't really know what he does. But
Yeah, that was where, I mean, I guess you could equate it to like a Tony Robbins kind, just a self-help, like self-help, but he's a funny dude. And Totally Possibles are like, let's say there's something that you want or that you're waiting for, whatever. You just start going through all the infinite, because there are infinite amount of possibilities in front of us. Literally everything could, it's totally possible a plane could crash into this building right now and we could all die. It's totally possible that we're going to leave happy and safe and healthy and everything's great. But like, let's say you want something, you just start going through like, okay, for you applying for a writing job, like it's totally possible that I hear back from them and I don't get the job. It's totally possible that I hear back from them, I don't get that job, but they have another job.
see,
that's
my
even
brain
better.
always goes to worst case scenario.
Totally, but
not
even
just
that.
not just what if something bad happens, what if the absolute worst happens?
And
like
you got to acknowledge
every
that
day I'm
too.
like every day I'm like, what if my mom dies? Like that's where my
And
anxiety's
it's weird
been at.
because you look at it as like this anxiety thing, but there's something in that is prepping you for the worst case scenario. You know what I mean? So like with the Totally Possibles, you go through the worst case scenario too, because the whole thing is about being completely unattached to all the possibilities that could happen.
Yeah.
And also living through how that would feel already in your body, so that if it were to happen, you're kind of like, okay, like I can handle this. It's about being able to handle everything that's being thrown at you.
I was
That's why
watching
ice bath.
I was watching something about dreams and like why we have them. Obviously they don't know.
Right.
They don't know absolutely, but they were giving a bunch of different possibilities. And one of the possibilities was like nightmares like prepare you for the worst possible
worst case.
scenario.
Totally possible.
Yeah. Like if you have a dream that you're being fucking chased by a lion, maybe that's not something that would happen now, but you know,
I mean,
long
it's
time
totally
ago.
possible. You could be on a safari in Africa and you guys are walking around and
I
a
mean, I'm
lion
not doing
fucking
that.
chases
I'm not
you,
doing
or-
that. Fuck
Why?
that.
You wouldn't? Get out of here.
I'm not a nature person.
What? That's sad.
I know. But I can't. I
Maybe
can't
if
do
you
nature.
start drinking your urine, you'll love nature.
I'm not a urine person either.
I mean, I was not a urine. I don't know that there's urine people. I think, you know.
I don't know. Yeah, there's
I now
there's
am.
definitely urine people. Go on the internet. There's there's urine people.
Urine people, but not like necessarily ingesting urine. But maybe, I mean, I don't know, because I don't look at this as like, this isn't a sexual
Could you snort it?
thing.
You
You
were-
can put it up your nose.
Oh my god,
and,
I was
like,
kidding.
No. That was another video
Can
that
you
I'd seen
inject
about
it?
it, that
Can
you
you
can like snort it like a neti pot, and that it will reset, like, I think it's called the vagus nerve. that's in
I've
your
heard of
nose.
that nerve. Yeah.
And like people that have like constant sinus infections, constant allergies, things of that nature, like, yeah, you can snort it up.
Bathe
I haven't
in it?
done a snort. Yeah, yeah. There's
Because
the
that'll
guy who was on the podcast that I watched that
I
got
just
me to
keep
finally
going back to the
drink.
pee because it's so crazy to me.
He says he hasn't bathed in 2 years. Like, he uses pee to clean himself, and that's all that he uses. And
You know
I don't
him?
know. I don't know him. And I've
Okay.
reached out to him because I had a couple of extra questions about, like, is there too long to let the pee sit before you drink? I think
I have questions about how he smells.
He says that everybody always, like, they'll meet him and be like, oh, like, he's gotten compliments about smelling good. And he'll be like, oh, cool, I haven't bathed in however long and I use pee for whatever. And then people change their story. I'm not there. I don't know. I've never met the guy.
Well, I've heard that about deodorant, which I've never been bold enough to try. But I heard, like, if you just don't use deodorant, then after a while, you just don't.
I mean, I wonder how long
smell.
that while would be, because I definitely know that, like, I've even tried natural ones, and, like, I've never tried to just not use anything for a long time, but I know some people from, like, my ecstatic dance community that they definitely can't be using deodorant, and they definitely have a pungent smell, like, when it gets
Right.
hot and when they get sweaty, whatever, you know?
I'd heard it and I didn't believe it. And then there was a line in that show Big Mouth where she was like, "You smell so good," and Maya Rudolph's character, that's like the big sexy monster, was
Yeah.
like, "It's because I don't wear deodorant and I only take bubble baths."
Bubble baths. You want to take
And,
a bubble bath?
I can't do, but that's bad for. I think that's bad for you, bubble baths, right?
No, why would it be bad for you?
Because
I guess it depends on what you're using.
I also am just very sensitive to
treatment.
fragrances.
Oh.
But yeah,
Like all your skin, or just like your vulva?
I don't think I've ever put it like directly on.
I mean, you soap your vulva, right?
Well, yeah, but no, just in general. If I use like face wash with fragrance in it, if I use laundry detergent with fragrance in it, like
Oh, I guess you could tell me if I smell like pee or not, because I have been using it as a toner as well.
a toner for your face.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like you have pee on your face right now?
Did I tone my face after washing it today? I did.
Okay.
But I also you put on your other products. Why are you looking away?
I'm giving Brian that sitcom. I'm giving Brian that sitcom. What the fuck?
I saw both of you guys traitors against me, but neither one of you saw me and were like, Davina, you smell like pee. Like, it's when I've sprayed it on, I'm like, this is so weird that it does. And I'm not using like a first pee of the day, though. I've thought about doing that for before bed. But this one is like a after a liter of water, so there's not a strong smell to any. Dude, my pee doesn't smell like pee. I don't know what your pee smells like, or Brian's pee smells like, or anybody's
Look,
pee
I
out
don't.
there
Here's the
smells
thing.
like.
I don't drink water. I'm very dehydrated.
I used to be like, this has helped me a lot. Like, a liter of water first thing in the morning. I'm really bad about drinking more than that. Like, and I want to try to get to like 3 to 4 liters a day.
I do feel like you could convince people to do pretty much anything, like, because first of all, you're an attractive person. I feel like attractive people, that's why influencers are all like super hot, and then they're like, oh well, if I do what you do, then I'll be attractive. And also you're very you believe in what you're saying.
When I am passionate about something, yes, for sure. Here's the thing, though. I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything. I'm Davina Joy. I'm here trying to get through life the same way everybody else is.
Right.
I'm going through whatever experiences that come my way, because
I feel like you're someone who tries a lot of things.
But
you do like
I
ice
do.
baths. It doesn't matter if it hurts, if it's
God, they're
cold
so
as fuck, if
painful. They can
you're
be
just like, just do something.
But ice baths are the most transformational, like instantaneously transformational experiences that you can have. They're amazing. Ice baths are incredible, and it's about putting yourself. Let me finish the last thing, because all I'm saying is I just plant seeds. Like, I just share my story, whatever I feel like I want to share. If somebody's interested and they reach out to me, but I'm never like, you have to drink your urine now. Like, I'll hold you down. I would love for the entire world to go, I want to try a week, 5 days. I felt a difference like day one. Like, I could feel electricity like going through my body. It made me want to sit in meditation and like be with myself, and like it was just a really powerful experience. And so I think 2, 3 days, 5 days a week, you're gonna be like, because at first I did this and I was like, I'm gonna do 8 ounces for 7 days. I'm on day 12. And then a friend of mine who started in December, which was another, here's what I know about the universe. I'll hear about something, and then all of a sudden this is for everybody. If you hear about something and then all of a sudden it keeps showing up, the universe is trying to tell you something, like to do it, right? So the urine therapy was one of the things. I heard about it 8 months ago when my friend sent me those slides, and I read those slides, and I literally sent her a message. I go, I could never drink it, I can never snort it, but maybe topically. Like if you have a cut, you can put urine on your cut. It's going to fucking heal it faster. If you have a rash, if you have people use it in their hair, like whatever. And after that point, all of a sudden I'm hearing about urine therapy in random places from random people, like all the time. So I'm like, okay, Davina, like this is something that I need to be putting some attention towards. And I wouldn't even put a lot of attention towards it, but every time I peed, I'd be like, am I wasting something special? Like, is this something special? And now it's like, dude, I have like 3 jars of fucking urine at home right now. It's kind of getting out of
Are you
hand.
also an ayahuasca person?
I've done ayahuasca. I did it in September, October of 2018. I am connected to a church out here where I could do it again. I'm thinking about doing it again, maybe in April. They actually have a couple this month that sounded like really good because they do kind of a themed thing with this church. And the guy who leads it has been doing Aya for over 10 years, and he's done it in South America with all different tribes, and he's kind of created his own like thing. I hear that he gets a really powerful one too. I like ayahuasca.
What was your experience with that? Like I feel like I talk to a lot of people who are like, I've kind of always wanted to try it, but I'm scared and I don't know like what the process is like and what I'll experience.
My experience was pretty gentle, I feel, but I went into it just being like, give me the most profound, but intention is everything in literally everything that we do. Like, that's why I set intentions into my urine. That's why I set intentions in practically everything that I do. And so with Aya, like, it's setting intentions is very important, but you're going to receive what she knows, grandmother knows that you need anyway. So like you can ask for a small amount, but if you're supposed to have a 10 experience, you're going to have a 10 experience on a small amount. And if you ask for a 10 amount and then you are supposed to have a small experience, you're going to get a smaller one, you know? So grandmother's like working with you and knows what you need, but it was very like gentle and beautiful.
I've heard of people like throwing up black stuff.
I purged and it was definitely dark, but it wasn't like black like it, you know, which I'm surprised because before I did combo, I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. I didn't give a fuck. Definitely saw like fluctuations in my weight and stuff and probably into my health, I'm sure. But like after doing combo and you see your purge and then they tell you like, oh, you have like a lot of candida, which is like yeast. And that comes from like too much dairy, too much sugar, processed foods, this and that. You're like, ugh, like I don't want that in my body.
Yeah,
so
I get
like,
that on my tongue. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Urine therapy. It changes everything. Like it literally changes. I have to even say that I've noticed, like, I think my vulva health is healthier from urine therapy. Like I don't.
You're the only person I know that uses the word vulva.
Well, because I'm so I'm so impressionable, and I watch the.
I'm just
the
like
show
pussy.
I watched the show Goop where they talked about like the correct term is like vulva over vagina. I'll say cunt and I'll say other things.
Is that
like
the
that,
Gwyneth Paltrow thing?
Yeah, the Gwyneth Paltrow one, which she's not like
crazy
my favorite.
too.
Yeah, she's not my favorite person, but her episodes are really fucking good. Like the show, I haven't seen. I think there might be a season 2. I haven't seen it, but I will. But she talks about the ice bath. I think episode 2 is like Wim Hof. Episode 1 was about psychedelics. But she had this woman on who talks about like the vulva and how different all fucking pussies are. Pussy. And just to normalize, because there's so many women that we have such weird relationships with a pussy, and then we expect men to like be really good with these pussies that we don't even necessarily care to fucking get to know. Like I just ordered 2 crystal wands, and I have 2 Yoni eggs already, but I got a rose quartz one that I've been feeling really called for rose quartz, so that I can start like falling in love with and getting to know like I don't know if I've ever had like an internal orgasm. And like the clitoral orgasm is very like, it's like the fast food of fucking orgasms. Like that shit, like it feels good for a minute, but it actually drains you energetically. Like it doesn't empower you. It's not. Our sexual energy is like creative energy, and to have internal orgasms is empowering, whereas the other one's like, cool, I just want to get off, but it's not the same power.
I think some people can't have them though.
They say that, and I don't know if I can, but a lot of it is we hold our traumas and our wounds in like our hips and in our vulva, and if you don't heal it, then you're not going to feel it.
This is going to sound fucking insane. And I feel like, okay, so when I think it was around like when the pandemic first started, I started like having pain during sex. And I'm so sorry, Brian. I know this stuff all like freaks you out, but
Freak me out at all.
He's just
he's like
listening,
I'm ignoring you. It's fine. No,
he did take his headset off a while ago. He's like, and we're good.
No, but yeah, like I at one point started having pain during sex, and then
Like what kind of pain though?
just
Like
pain.
burning or
It was it wouldn't enter me without pain. You know, like no one could enter me without pain.
yeah.
I don't know what it was, and I thought that something was wrong. But nothing was wrong medically.
Is this when you were on the antidepressants that didn't let you come?
Yeah.
Okay. So there could be a connection to that. for sure, too.
Maybe, but I was on them for a long time after that. But no, it was psychological, I think, because I went to a hypnotherapist, which I never thought to go to or would never think to go to, but I ended up going to one and telling her what was going on, and I swear to God, she did a thing for like an hour, and the next time I had sex, no pain.
Wow.
I don't know.
Who's the hypnotherapist? Do you like her?
She's fucking incredible. She's also my regular therapist now.
Oh, text me her.
Her name is Barbara Carey. She's
Keith's mom.
No, I would never let Keith's mom be my fucking therapist.
I know. I don't think anyone.
I'd let Keith's mom be a lot of things, but not my therapist. She's great, dude. Keith Carey's mom. When I met her for the first time, she and Keith was there, and she was like, "Let me show you my chest full of sex toys." Like
I love her.
And then Keith and Tom said they were like walking down the hall, and they just hear me go, "Whoa!" and it chokes you too, and they're like, "Okay, I'm leaving."
Wait, what toy is this?
I don't know. She had a bunch of crazy stuff. She had like restraints on her bed. Keith's mom's a freak.
I just got this thing, and I don't even know why, because I've been celibate for way longer than I want to admit, but I tell the world it's been like over 3 years. And I saw this thing on Etsy, and it was like this pussy clamp. And I was like, why do I want to order that? And so I did, and I don't even know how it works. I need to look at the picture because they didn't send any instructions. They just said like it's like in
Is that what it was
pieces.
called? The pussy clamp?
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound
And it like
pleasant.
clamps like your lips open.
Oh my God.
I don't know why I ordered this. Late night Etsy shopping.
Look,
even sober, I'm not even fucking doing
I've ordered
anything.
stuff that then I just like never use, and I was like, I don't know why I ordered this, but like
I'm hoping I get to use it someday. Like, I don't know. Maybe it just like
I get self-conscious about being boring in bed. So I think like sometimes I'm like, maybe I should like do something wild and order something crazy and watch porn and try one of those things that they do. But it's never been like, I don't know. I think that was something I thought when I was younger, but now I'm like, if I'm having sex with them, I think they're good. You know? Like I don't think they need.
You're in a good, healthy relationship, right? Like you and Effie.
Well, not even just in my relationship, just in general. I think no one needs all that. If you like it, great.
Right.
But I don't think anyone's gonna leave you because you're like having regular sex.
Well, and what's regular sex? Like even to just like
without any of the bells and whistles.
I think the things that could happen more is like
sex between a man and a woman. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. But like communicating, like I think people feel very like, oh, once we're having sex, it should just be like moans and breathing and like whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to communicate like, okay, I don't need you to go deep right now. I was watching this video yesterday of this Instagram guy. It's like Cam Fraser, so I don't know. I don't know what his Instagram is, but someone had asked him like, what about shallow sex, or is it always about like going deep? And he's just like, no, you got to ask your partner. Like a lot of women don't just want to be rammed like deep and fast. Like that's not necessarily like the sex that they're fucking looking for. You know, he was like,
switch it up.
Yeah, you can switch it up. You can do like shorter strokes, like pull it out. The thing I do remember about sex, when I have a memory about sex, is
this reminds me of when I did a podcast with, do you know Malik B?
Yeah.
I did a podcast with him once, and he just spent the entire podcast just explaining how to give a blowjob in detail, like in excruciating detail. I'm like, Malik.
I mean, I'm very good at. I don't need that one. I'm pro blow.
You showed me a video
Pro
one
blow
time,
now. I did,
and I
showed
was
you a video.
impressed.
Yeah, because that was a
To
pretty
say the
big
least,
dick,
I
right?
was impressed. I was like, how the fuck?
God, he had such a nice. I miss that dick. Whenever women miss a man, if they have a good dick, we're not like necessarily missing the person. We're like, I miss,
Just one part
I
of
miss
them.
that fucking dick.
I've never had that. I've never missed just someone's dick.
Really?
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I just.
I mean, I do miss him too, like to a point, but like the missing him is kind of like okay, whatever. Like I'm in acceptance that he's gone, but I don't know that I'm in full acceptance that I'll never get that dick again. You know what I mean?
Didn't you get like into tantric?
I would like to. That's what I would love to get more into. Like have a partner that knows more about Tantra, and
That's like the thing where you
know
can like
that.
fuck for hours, right?
It's not even, it's like breathing together. It's like, I mean, it's not even with Tantra, I think it's not even just about sex. Like it could be just like touching each other's body, like breathing together. Like you can have orgasms through breath work. Like that is possible. You can have like cosmic orgasms, like full body orgasms without necessarily having to have penetration and stuff. And that's like stuff that I'm interested in too.
Yeah.
But as I was
I actually believe that because I've been meditating before and like felt stuff that I was like, oh, okay.
what
Like,
did you feel?
You know, the stuff that you feel. I don't need to get
Like
into detail
tingles?
about the things
You
that I
got
feel.
tingles in your mingles?
Yeah. Yeah, just from meditating.
Did you ever stop? I've had to stop meditating before to go masturbate because it got very, like, I was like, oh, there's something happening here that I have to connect with myself for.
There's lots of stuff that people would say like that I'd be like, yeah, fucking right. And then now that I'm getting more into, now that I've become desperate enough in my depression to just be like, fine, I'll try all this fucking spiritual shit. And I'm like, all right, maybe I kind of get it.
Well, and that's something that I'd offer you. Maybe you had to get to the depths of the depression because to get you to this place. And there's so many things of a victim mentality because society teaches us to be in victim mentality where we're thinking that everything's happening like to us to bring us down and to kill us and to make us sad. And it's like, no, it's trying to show you something so that you do something different so that you can experience life in a better, like more amplified way, that you can up level. Like the universe is here to up level us. Like nobody, it's not against you. The energy of creation and life and whatever you want to think, God, source, whatever it is, spirit, or if you don't believe in anything, but you can't not believe in energy. Like energy is tangible, like it's proven, like there's energy, there's frequencies, you know?
Yeah.
So in anything like that, it's like, just know that it's not against you and that it's trying to work for you. So when you continue to see a pattern of like something that's going on in your life that's making you feel depressed and this and that, it's like stop and go, okay, what is this trying to teach me? Like what do I keep on doing? What is the opposite thing that I could do? And what if I tried that and see what the results are, you know? But we have the same thoughts every fucking day. Like most people have the exact same thoughts every day. We're just stuck in this loop and we get very comfortable in our sadness. We get comfortable because it's like, I'm in this place where I'm like uncomfortable with how much energy I have and I'm still not being as productive as I could be. Like I'm not great with time management.
We're all judging ourselves for that. I think that's been a through line of like everyone I talk to is they're sad because they don't feel like they're doing enough.
And we think we should be somewhere else.
And I think the pandemic really like brought that out because we weren't really allowed to do anything.
Right.
And then now things are like kind of coming back, but we're used to not doing stuff or being around people, and it's just it's all like and stuff isn't completely back, so you feel like, oh, I'm not doing enough, I'm not,
but it
going out
also
enough.
the other side of that and what to be grateful for is how many people tapped into like, okay, how else can I make money, what can I create, what passion do I have that I've not like
only
focused on for a long time, and then being able to do that. But that's what I love about Everything Hurts. Like even the name of it is just so great, but like everything hurts if you continue to focus on the fact that everything hurts. Like when I first told you that I wanted to come on your podcast, dude, December 14th to January 14th was a major low for me. I was super depressed. I was disconnected from somebody that I really care about, and I wasn't like, there was no ability to talk to them, and I wasn't handling it well, and I was fucking sad, and I didn't want to leave my place. And I mean, thank God for having like ecstatic dance and having, you know, my tribe and like times that I do have things to do, but I can very much end up being a hermit. Like I can very easily like not leave my place and be very like depressed. And it was really, really, really fucking hard. And I've just started like, I'm not going to lie, I did reconnect with the person and we got to hang out, and like things have felt like up, and I don't like to outsource my energy that way. You know what I mean?
That
like
your mood is dictated by someone else's presence or non-presence.
It's the hardest part of being human. It's so fucking
That was my next
frustrating.
question for you. What you thought, you know, the hardest part of being alive was.
Really? I mean, that's one of them. Love is fucking beautiful and horrendous, you know, like caring about other people, wanting, I've been the same as you, where it's like, I don't want to have ties to like any, but like, fuck it. If I don't trust anybody and I don't care about anybody, then everything will be more simple, right? No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. We need people.
In my current relationship, he's always like, I am not trying to hurt you. I am not against you. We're not at war, because
Right.
I'm constantly like with everybody, even if they're like my friend or my boy, I'm like, I have this expectation that it's gonna eventually be me against them, you know.
Not
and so
a created story, because you don't have expectations, remember? So not an expectation, but you're creating a story that at some point in time, good has to turn bad. And what bad looks like is that they're going to go against you. They're not going to be your friend anymore, whatever. And I've had that as well. And the hardest part, really, this is probably the hardest part of life, is just loving yourself so much that you're like, if this person is in my life, awesome. If they're not in my life, awesome. To find the balance to be able to say literally anything that happens to me, awesome. And
I mean, that seems to be the answer to everything, but I don't know how to fucking.
I'm still working on
how
it
to do
too.
that.
I mean, I can say that like since I've started this urine therapy journey, and why I say that like my mental and emotional ability, like stability is amplified and at a place that I don't know that I've ever experienced it, is when I have been experiencing disappointing moments like over this last 12 days, it just flows off of me.
Yeah.
It bounces right out. It's like, I'm not absorbing it. I'm not taking it in. I'm not obsessing over it. I'm not letting it control like my mood. I'm like, oh, okay, I really wanted this. Didn't happen. Cool. What else can I do? And like, I move on. I move forward. I like, you know, everyone's always like, it's just the next step and one step at a time. I move forward. But like, that doesn't hit when you have something that's not right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because like I said, in the urine, there's enzymes, there's hormones, there's minerals, vitamins, antibodies, stem cells, like things, but there's hormones and enzymes that your body needs and can utilize. And I don't know if that's what's been, because even like I just had my moon cycle. I'm that hippie that just fucking calls a period a moon cycle. And like even during that, it was like I felt very balanced and like wasn't letting my head go run off and run amok and like create all these crazy stories, you know?
Well, even I will say, I feel like even if you love yourself, heartbreak, whether it's a friendship or a relationship or whatever, I think losing someone, it's going to be hard either way.
It's going to be hard. And it's not to say that the hardness won't be there, but it's how do you then process it? That's where it starts becoming a difference. How can you find gratitude for the fact that they were in your life, and also gratitude for the fact that they left, because somehow that is empowering you. I have a really good friend who, it's been a year since she had like someone she thought was her best friend, like kind of went off on her and like totally stopped being friends with her and like blamed her for all this shit. And she was like, wait a minute, you were like everything that you're saying is a projection of like everything that you did to me. Like I always showed up for you. I was always there. Cut to her and I are having this conversation, and like she was like telling me these things that were happening, and I'm like, okay, but can you be grateful for her saying that, because it made you have to like go through yourself and go, no, that's not who I am. I have these boundaries now. I like assess your character, see and remember how you were showing up. Like we look at pain and we look at things that happen to us as being this like horrid thing, but it's like if you try to find okay, what can I be grateful for about that? And it's usually hindsight. Like you said, like you might not get this writing job, but then something else, another opportunity comes. So it can take a while. But I do believe that there's a way that we can get ourselves into the mindset and a practice of like, I feel like shit right now and I'm hurting. What can I be grateful for in that? Oh, the fact that I'm human, the fact that I feel, the fact that I'm not a sociopath that could murder someone because like supposedly sociopaths have no feelings. Like,
and if not gratitude, anger and revenge.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I've had a heartbreak where afterwards I got, just better in every way just because I was pissed off. And I was like, I'm going to become a better comedian than you. I'm going to fucking get hotter. I'm going to go apply to every job I possibly can to be happy despite you. But then I just got all the stuff and was still sad.
Right. But the gratitude is like, thank God that person fucking made you upset and hurt you because of the fact that it lit a flame in you for some reason to do what you do. I have a friend who I was having lunch with her one day and she was talking about how she has a tumultuous relationship with her brother. And she's just like, yeah, like he was always abusive, always very like horrid to me. And just like, I was always very meek and timid because of him. And she said, and then one day he just like pushed me. And this girl is very much like me. We're both born on March 1st. We're very much the same. And she's like out there, like you would never know that this was her story in childhood. She's very like extroverted and funny and hilarious and like talks about her shit. And she's just like, and like I was a very meek kid, and then like he just did something and I just was like, fuck you, and like it broke her out of her shell. And from that point on, she didn't take shit from anyone. So she's telling me this and I was like, cool, have you ever thanked your brother? And she was like, what? And I was like, have you ever shown the gratitude for him to get you to that point? Because look at who you are now. And she like started bawling. We're in a restaurant. She like started bawling. She was like, I never thought of it that way. Mm-hmm. You know, and we look at the people that are in our lives that are like pushing our buttons and triggering us again to be a victim mentality is like, oh, they're here, they're hurting me. You're the reason I can't do this. You're the reason I'm staying down. It's like, no, they're actually trying to lift you up and help you create a boundary or strengthen your character or amplify and up-level yourself somehow, some way, so that you fucking say, fuck you. I'm going to be better than you at this. My career's going to fucking get better than yours faster, or whatever it is that like motivates you, you know?
I also think a lot of the anger and frustration and sadness comes from, we feel like if a relationship, whether it's with our brother or with our friend or with a significant other, if we don't have a relationship with them anymore, that means we failed in some way, or they failed in some way. And the truth is, like, no one failed. And you talked about the story we create, and I remember someone was telling me that they don't have a relationship with their brother. Mm-hmm. And whenever they thought about it, they got angry and sad. And they were like, well, why do I get angry and sad? And it's like, well, because I don't have a relationship with my brother. And it's like, why does that make you upset? Well, because you're supposed to have a good relationship with your brother. It's your brother. It's like, why? Why do you have to have a good relationship with your brother? Why do you have to have a good relationship with your parents? You don't have to talk to your family at all if they don't treat you the way you want to be treated.
Exactly. And that family is to teach you to show up and set your boundaries and not allow anybody in that can't respect you. Like, it's about self-respect, and that's why I have alignment on me. Like, not everybody aligns in your life, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody, whether they're your brother, your parent, whatever, they're there as teachers. Every single person is a fucking teacher. Every single person is a guru. Guru means teacher. Everybody that comes into your life is a guru of some sort, whether they're there to teach you for a short minute, forever, for a long time, whatever it is. But I agree 100. I haven't talked to my oldest sister since 2013. Like, I don't have a relationship with my oldest sister, and I've gone through that as well. Now, something I did realize, because I had a healing in August of last year from this like guy from Germany who does this energy work that I couldn't even put words to it, but it was a very, very, one of the most profound like deep healings that I had, so much so that even after ayahuasca, even after I've done psilocybin, no matter what medicine I've done, bufo, which is the toad 5-MeO DMT, which I fucking love bufo, but no matter what I've done, I've never felt like I want to connect with her again. And after I had the healing with this guy, it was at this place out here called the Hummingbird Temple. And it's this like mansion that they have just a ton of hummingbirds there. It's so beautiful. And after our healing, I was sitting outside. I didn't even ask them. I was there for like 2 more hours outside sitting amongst the hummingbirds, just like I was just in another dimension. Like I was just in this place. And it was the time that I thought, I'm getting my septum pierced. Like some spirit told me to pierce my septum. Spirit told me to get a Svetli tattoo. So I got my tattoo from the sacred Yantra tattoo. And spirit told me to reconnect with my sister. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know about that. And when I got home, I sent her a message because she has me blocked on stuff. And so I have a Google Voice number, and I sent her a message. And well, first I called her and she picked up, and I was like, is this Samantha? And she was like, yeah. I was like, hey, it's Davina. And she goes, I don't want to talk to you. And I was like, okay, well, if that ever changes, I'm here. She hung up the phone. The next day she sent me a message and she was like, well, what were you reaching out to me for? And I know that what she wanted right away was like an apology and this and that. And so we talked back and forth for maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes or something like that. And what I realized at the end of that was the conflicts and the things that we don't resolve now. I'm not saying that she's going to be a person in my life, but my dad didn't talk to his brother for a lot of years. My family, this is a pattern. This is a cycle. This is an ancestral cycle. And I think that I was born to break like the ancestral cycles and patterns of my family is like what I think my purpose is, a big part of my purpose. It continues to work to show up. Like it's continued to show up in many instances of my family. So I realize that if I do not heal this now, I'm going to take this to the grave and the next lifetime. Like her and I are never not going to be connected energetically. That doesn't mean that we have to be in each other's lives now. We had a really good convo and I came to that conclusion at the end. I said, look, this is a pattern that shows up in our family and I would love to break that. I was just like, so whenever you're ready to talk, I would love to be able to talk, you know? And doesn't mean that we'll like talk all the time or whatever, but I realized in that moment, like all the conflicts from anyone I've ever had, I don't want to take this to the grave. We don't have to be best friends, but like I want to leave this planet like cords cut from all like unnecessary like roughness. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think breaking patterns is really, really important. I think that's probably one of the most important things in just staying sane, you know?
Yeah.
That cliche thing where insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting
you don't even realize it. There's this really amazing meme where it shows like this old man and he's yelling at this slightly younger dude that you could tell is his son, and that guy's yelling through the door at his like son, and that guy's yelling at his son, and then the next one is like showing love to his son. And it's just this amazing meme that shows like that's how you break the pattern. Most people don't even realize the pattern because we just go, well, this is how I am.
I'm breaking the pattern by just not having kids.
Me too.
Because I think I would also just
baby.
be a terrible parent.
I'm not having kids. I don't know that I'd be a terrible parent, but I had this like when I was really high one time, I was like, what if people continue to reincarnate because they had a kid, so they leave like a piece of their energy here. And I'm done. Like whatever my energy, my soul's next like adventure is, it might be another planet, it might be another experience altogether, it might be nothing. I might just go back to God and be there forever, and that's fine. That's what Bufo was like. But I'm not leaving a trail. I'm done with that trail. So that's like one of the reasons I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
But I would, if I met a guy with kids, I'd love that. Or maybe adopt someday. Like I'm not against like being able to raise a kid, but I still have some patterns that need to be broken that I see in the way that I treat my friends sometimes. That is my mom. My mom loves very negatively. And so sometimes I think I'm being cute and I'm being a fucking cunt, like a major fucking asshole.
Your mom and you talking to each other is hilarious. It's so
I'm glad it's hilarious for all the outside people. For me, I'm literally like
she like tells Davina she's going to hell.
If she knew I haven't talked to her about me drinking urine yet, she'd probably disown me. Yeah, it's a tumultuous, my whole family, it's a very tumultuous, my dad and I have gotten to a place that's really good, and that happened like years ago, and I love my dad to death, and I love my sisters, you know, I mean, they're They're teachers. If you look at everybody, first off, if you see God in anything, then you see God in all things. Like whatever you want it, source, spirit, whatever. So like if you're somebody who says that you believe in God or something bigger than this, and then you treat people like shit, like that's not aligning. That doesn't match up, you know? So I'm really doing my best to step into like being the nicest, most loving version of myself. And dude, my shadow side, Davina Joy, I have names for my, like my most
I have
loving.
no idea what the fuck half the words in that sentence you just said was. Your shadow side?
Yeah, is named Davina Joy.
What is your shadow side? Oh, it's your like the dark
little,
side
the
of you.
dark side, the shadow,
You've
the things
named
that
her.
like to be. I've named her. The things that like to like to be a fucking dickhead sometimes, or like to show up and like do that. And sometimes I'm like, hey, Davina Joy is out to play. I can't hang out with my friends because like my friends can't handle like some of my tribe.
Sure.
Would not be able. I don't even want them to see like that side. Not that I hide from them. Like I'll tell them like, yo, I'm kind of being a dick today. Are you sure you still want to hang out?
I don't even
can
acknowledge
it.
that side exists, and then you know, you live with someone and they're like, you're a
being a
fucking
dick.
bitch.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
And that's how you can start becoming aware, because you start figuring out, like you start seeing that. But like when I'm the most loving, amazing self, I call it Dove Love. My family calls me Dove. That's nice. That's my... I love you by invoking. That's my Dove Love is my nickname with my family. They call me Dove. So I'm like, oh, Dove Love is like the most loving. Like when I cannot, like you could tell me you killed someone and I'll be like, not a good decision to make, but let's talk about your feelings right now, you know, like can hold space for anything.
I feel like I have so many friends that I could just be like, I murdered someone, and they'd be like, all right, let's
bury it.
well, not even that. No, most of my friends would be like, all right, you're on your own with that, but but I won't tell anybody, but like fucking take care of that yourself.
Like no judgment.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't know about this, and if anyone asks me, I didn't know about
Right.
it. You're on your own, and I'll snitch on you in a second if I'm about to get in trouble.
Right.
But
no
they
judgment.
also yeah
No
they also
judgment.
wouldn't care. You do have a podcast where you talk about a bunch of hippy dippy stuff, but you talk about it naked. Do you want to plug that? You want to plug that?
Naked and Serious. It's been in hiatus for more years than it should be, which is why I want to talk to Brian Vokey, who wants nothing to do with me. I love him. He's so good at just ignoring. I'm just like, I feel like his mother right now. He's like, I can ignore you like you're my mom, and I don't care what you say. That's how it is with my mom, though, when I ignore people. It's called Naked and Serious Podcast because we're naked, and it is on Patreon, and I'm putting them up on OnlyFans right now. And then my goal this year is to get more episode shots. So
Yeah.
that is what I'm working towards. Yeah.
I don't know if Brian could produce that as a good Christian man. I don't think he wants titties all up in here.
Catholic too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hardcore.
I think he can produce it. You don't have to be in a room. You can hit record and leave. But then you have to edit it and give me the clips.
Is there anything else you want to plug?
Just you can follow at The Smallest Fat Girl is my Instagram. I also have at Empowerment, MPOWERMENT_, and that is like an empowerment guide. Like I feel like I'm really good at helping people like figure some shit out in their life and empower them to know that they don't need anybody else. Like the whole goal is that you are self-sufficient and take care of yourself and get through your shit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And drink your pee.
And if anybody wants to talk about urine therapy, you can hit me up on at The Smallest Fat Girl or at Empowerment. And then there's also at Naked and Serious. It has its own Instagram as well. So,
all right.
Yay. So
well,
fun.
thank you so much for being on the podcast and
Thanks
attracting probably a whole new listenership. You have a very different community. But I'm excited. Thank you
for allowing me to be on after I bugged you about it.
All right. This has been Everything Hurts.
Everything hurts. Everything hurts. Fucking life sucks. Everything hurts.